Hey everybody, welcome back to some more Citizen Sleeper. We're getting pretty close to the end on this one. Not terribly much left to do, just a couple of side tasks and I think maybe what was a little free DLC here at the end, but we're trudging through. It's been a little bit of time since I've been able to sit down and play this. Just a lot of fun summer activities, to say the least. We also have some fun stuff coming up after this, which I'm really looking forward to recording as well, but don't despair. We'll get through this and continue on our way as we always do. A little bit of a recap. Last time we finally finished up the Emphas storyline. Our mushroom dealer friend, who was one of our first kind of, I'll call it real friends on Arlen's Eye. We were able to get all of his different mushrooms and figure out his story. It's kind of a crazy tale of him being this mobile suit worker, for lack of a better term, that had a short life expectancy. We also helped Bliss, who was kind of one of our new friends up here, towards the top of the spire, whatever you want to call it, get her mechanic business rocking and rolling. There's a bit of setback there. We're trying to finish that up, and then we're getting pretty close to finishing Rico with all of her different mushroom experiments. I think we already gave her one of these club heads, which was like maybe this. It seems like the different mushroom tiers are the like different levels of currency, whatever you want to call it, on the station or in this game for some reason. So we're getting pretty close on that. But yes, let's. Looks like we left ourselves without being at the end of a day. So let's go ahead and start anew. Hopefully get some good rolls. Let's see what we get. Could be better. It could be better overall, but we may just have to honestly. It's very rare we don't get a 4 or a 5 or a 6. Oh, here we go. Sleeper. Moritz has been waiting for you on your way out. How you been? Say surviving. That's a struggle. He glances around. He runs his hands through his hair. I've been meaning to ask you, Sleeper. What's it like? He pauses, suddenly unsure. I mean, you know. What does it feel like? To be a sleeper? Yeah, he shrugs. If you don't mind. Say it's strange. Yeah. I know I can't understand it, you know, with your frame and, well, everything else, but I wanted to say I have a lot of sympathy for it, like having to find a place, having to survive, having no future. He looks down. A lot of people around here understand that. Moritz looks away, and you notice him for the first time, not just as Bliss's assistant, but as someone with their own worries, their own struggles, and their own life. I feel bad for not noticing earlier. Moritz looks back at you. Anyway, got a message for you. Bliss sent me down. We've scored another contract and she needs your help. That's the message. He pauses. Look, I know last time the payment didn't come through, but you did good work. Bliss knows that. I'll continue to be the good guy. It's no problem. Okay then, he pauses. She's doing her best, you know. That you know. He nods. See you up there. Moritz turns and strides off, leaving you in the corridor. Time to help Bliss, and maybe this time you think to yourself it'll work out. Alright, so we may want to check that first, because the last contract she had was time sensitive. So, see if this one is of a similar nature. Nope. We should do that once. Rent the super expensive capsule for no immediately apparent reason. Ooh. Saving the crop. Fragile biome. What the heck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, okay, so this gives you a lot if you mess up. Vent a section, and you have a better chance of saving the remaining crops. But you will lose some in the process. The question is how many. Welding in a zero-G farm is tricky. The torch, the heat, the sealant, everything can damage the crop you are trying to save. Sycamore seed needs to be reinforced and sealed, otherwise the crop will be lost. The sycamore seed's internal biome is in trouble. Every action will bring it closer to collapse. Okay, very interesting. This is our place, right? Am I losing my mind? Sycamore seed. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, no, no. No, no, no. Right? Bliss needs... Yeah, unless... I guess, yeah. This is her place. I don't see the, like, shop itself. So, I guess... We should be able to get to 6 with this, right? We have +2, 100% positive. Yeah, let's start there and see how that works out. R2 into it. Helping here. Ooh, okay. So even with a +2, we still get a little bit of negative, but it's probably for the best, if I had to guess. We'll do this. We'll come back. Wait, was that safe? No, it can't be safe, right? There's still a negative. No, I guess that is safe. Okay, it still increases fragile biome, though. Alright, we're more than halfway there. It shouldn't be terribly difficult to finish that one. Safely, at least. Let's descend down. What else do we gotta do? We gotta help her go through her experiments. The side reel ticket, I feel like, is the way off here. Forget, did we do that one time last episode? It is dangerous, which is not great. Yeah, we've done it like one time. That feels like a different way to finish the game, right? Like, you can escape or you can try and, you know, make your life out here on the eye. I feel like that's, you know, trying to work through your problems versus running away from them, but what do I know? All right, let's go over to the Greenway. Let's see what we got going on. The aviary. So that's some spores we put down. We have to wait for that. I think we can only grow the club heads, right? Grow spores, risky. Hypha Labs. So enter the Greenways. We need to do that. Or no. This one we still haven't figured out what the heck is up with enter the Greenway. Unless this is... You have to finish her story first. Because I feel like we've done everything else, right? Like... Find a nurturing grow bed. Like, this one doesn't advance anything. I don't think the Flotilla one would be related. This is just working with the gang. That's somewhere you can sleep. Hypha Labs, that's where Rico is. The grows already looked there. The farm stacks. This is just, you know, I don't think negatively failing something would advance a plot. That would be very counterintuitive. So yeah, the only thing I can think is just to finish up this Rico stuff. Bring mushrooms to the Briar, so we're still getting through that. We're doing okay on cryo, right? Yeah. Don't really have a big need for it anymore. We got extra stabilizer from finishing up the Yadigan story. Yeah, it's really just... I guess we'll do this. Let's re-roll these. 3 and 4 and a 1 is what it is. So Grial caps. Let's use the 3 here. Getting some grove spores would be good. Very nice. I think that will allow us to reseed if we need to. The 1... I'm not quite sure what to do with. The other side, maybe I guess we could try and put them both on this task, because it says it's safe, but the negative outcome still is going to exist in some capacity, right? Because that'll tick this down, so I guess we can try. I have 5. Should be pretty good. And I guess a 1. Yeah. It can't get terribly worse, right? It's a 50-50. 1 and 1. Okay, it could be worse. That's really all there is to do. You know what I mean? We're very much finishing up the tasks here. It's a rest for the day. Yeah, not much else we want to do. Continue on with our tasks. Alright, need to get a little bit of energy today. But better rolls, we can re-roll that 1. Every time I have to find an energy, I'm always trying to remember what the best way to do it is. It might be the commune. Oh, before I don't want to do that. Let's go back up here. I think we need to have one more day on the mushrooms growing before we can see if we got the things we needed. It's not that at the lounge, right? No. Buy a spacer a meal. Oh, buy a spacer meal. That's just one way for us to feed ourselves. Let's see. Alright. We can use the 5. Which gets us to a 6, and that should be it. Very good. Let's continue. You and Bliss are floating in the bay's airlock, waiting for it to cycle. You pick a few leaves from your clothes as you wait. They float around the chamber as if carried by a lazy wind. Clean work? Bliss bows a little. Well, thank you, Sleeper. You didn't do so bad yourself. She checks her tool belt. Seems like we are getting into a good rhythm. The now familiar sequence of clunks and rattles sound out, and then the door hisses open. The moment it does, you know something has once again gone wrong. What's all this? Bliss asks a confused-looking Moritz. Beside him are a set of crates anchored to the bay floor. He's clearly just brought them in through the bay's freight lock. Moritz looks around nervously between the two of you before answering. It's payment. He runs his hand along the crate. The Sycamore Seed crew just brought them over. He stops, but seeing the look on Bliss's face, adds, They were very thankful. I bet they were, she clenches her fists. What the hell's inside? Moritz leans over and struggles with the catches on each side of the top crate. As he does, Bliss turns to you. Don't say it. Bliss stares into space. Don't you dare say it. Say what? You know. She looks back at you. This isn't my fault. Moritz finally gets the catches free and the lid floats off, drifting up into the bay. As it does, a small brown lump floats up with it. It's probably just going to be mushrooms, right? It's always mushrooms in this game. Moritz reaches out and catches it as it passes him. Is that a mushroom? What'd I say? Bliss finishes. A damn mushroom. Paid us in mushrooms. Not just mushrooms. He holds out a clump of tightly packed leaves. Produce. Bliss starts laughing. Goddamn Hypha Commune. Should have known they didn't have a chit to rub between them. She knocks a small brown mushroom across the bay. Stop, Bliss. Moritz grabs her hand. These are good, fresh. We can sell them. He's not wrong. These seem to be the main currency on the station. To who, Moritz? Are we running a grocer's now? We need cryo, otherwise this whole bay will be shut down. We can't pay for parts with leafy greens. She waggles them in Moritz's face. Moritz is right. Bliss raises an eyebrow. Fine. Maybe Moritz is right, but what do we do between now and market day? She rubs her forehead. What a joke this is turning out to be. Moritz closes up the crates and starts moving them. It isn't that bad, Bliss. It's a step in the right direction. Glances at you, looking for backup. They'll sell well. Bliss sighs. Looks like I went into business with a couple of wannabe farmers, she laughs. Prove me wrong, then. Show me this is a windfall. She kicks away towards the new, patched-together terminal. Till then, I'll be working on how to keep this place open. Moritz mouths a thank you and goes back to moving the crates. You better be on your way, too. I mean, Moritz is right. We can definitely sell these. Alright, so... Gotta wait another few cycles for another job to come in. I wonder if I should have started this maybe closer to the, a little bit earlier while I had other stuff going on, because it's feeling like we're kind of coming up to a drought here, so not much we can do with the Bliss story. Maybe it is time to start working on the Flotilla one. I do want to get through this other stuff first, so... We're just on, yeah, I guess we can do this. Get some energy. Free energy. Take that. We got one more day here before that pans out. Might as well, I guess, dump some of stuff into the only other thing we have, which is getting the side reel ticket, even if we don't end up wanting to do it, right? Not much else we can do here. Unless we want to start the... Bring mushrooms to the briar. Let's... Yeah, maybe we should start that, because it is feeling like we are getting close. Hopefully it doesn't become timed or something like that, but so far there's been few and far between. Let's take a look and see what they need. Episode Flux is the first of 3 updates telling the story of the Refugee Flotilla, which has arrived at the Eye. All 3 episodes, Flux, Refuge, and Purge, are now available. Alright, so we need Greel caps. We'll begin the episode, but be aware it is intended for late game play. Let's wait one more day. I don't know if there's something that's like, okay, you're in the late game now, right? Like, I don't know if we'll reach that necessarily, but it would be good. So let's cross to the rim. We could always get a little bit more money. I guess we'll do that regardless from the side reel stuff. So let's go to the side rail bridge. Do that. I'll get some money. Roll. Do that. Get some money. And let's see something that maybe gets us. Nothing we can do here, right? On either of these. These are the ones you just kind of wait for. Yeah. Ord exchange or fabricator. Yeah, I don't see anything else here. Haven Age data. Minji Express is always good. We can do this and just get some more energy with our last one. Perfect. Alright, let's rest and see what hopefully this is the end of the Hypha Commune stuff. That'll kind of be my indication that we need to restart the Flotilla stuff. Alright. The 2 5s we can work with, the other 3 we're going to have to re-roll. But let's see what we grew. I also have a feeling we're not going to have what we need. They're going to have to wait some more. 2 random mushroom caps. Is safe. But we are going to... I think regardless, the fungal yield goes up, right? It's 1 club head. It's 2 club head. Okay, that should be what we need. And we'll probably just clean that out and redo it anyways, because it seems like that's always the thing we need to do. Okay. 1 more. And over immediately to an eager Rico. Immediately begins work on the samples. We're probably going to have to wait for her to, like, analyze these or something, right? Alright. And we return. Rico is at her bench, running small vials of some liquid through an old chemical analysis machine. The whirring of the spinning drum fills the lab with white noise. You aren't sure if she notices you approach. Sleeper, it's good to see you. She looks up smiling. This little project of ours has been keeping me awake the past few cycles, but right now, well, I think I have something. What is it? The drum finishes spinning and Rico lifts a vial from it, holding it up to the light. This is something I have extracted from those club heads you've been bringing me. According to my analysis, it is a substance totally unique on the Greenway. Look at the small amount of liquid in the vial. You have any idea what it might be? Rico asks, without looking away from the vial. I'll say stabilizer? Rico nods. You aren't the first sleeper to come through here. Perhaps I should have mentioned that earlier. Rico's tone suddenly drops, changing the atmosphere in the lab immediately. I just thought... She pauses, thinking very carefully of how to continue. I just wanted you to trust us. What do you mean? She sighs. They came through a fair few cycles ago. We found them wandering in the broken section near the gap. The members who brought them had never seen one of you before. They were terrified of the strange person wandering in from the open vacuum. They were quieter than you, and damaged. We did our best to patch them up and welcome them to the commune. I really only spoke to them once while I was working on their wounds along with a couple of systems engineers. She looks nervously at you. I've never really seen a body like that before. I took some readings, some samples. Samples? You have to understand, I was curious. I didn't know what I was looking at. I just took a little of the damaged material, less than a thumbnail. She shifts her weight to her crutch. The next cycle, they were gone. They took a little food and hiked up towards the wild margins, wherever the Greenway meets the wastes. Someone saw them in the distance, but that was it. They disappeared into the overgrowth. She sits down heavily, the vial in her hand. When I saw you, I wanted to be different. I wanted to keep you here rather than let you disappear into wherever they ended up. She smiles to herself. Yes, I wanted you to understand this place better, but I also wanted to help you. It seems that somehow both my wishes have come true at once. She holds out a hand with the vial. This is for you. You take the stabilizer. The glass cold and smooth in your palm. Thank you. Don't thank me. She gazes down at the greenway through the glass. Those club head caps made it for you, or at least who or whatever made those club heads. She starts to clear her bench. It was right there, contained in their tissue. I only had to extract it. I imagine you understand how incredible that is. I learned enough from that sleeper to know that your body, your frame is it, runs on some exotic technology. Exotic technology that has a time limit built in. Somehow the Greenway knows that too. It understands your physiology much better than I ever could. It knows how to treat you. Just like that miraculous antidote that sprung from the mold, so too has this sprung from your presence here. The Greenway is speaking to you. It is welcoming you. She looks up. I know it sounds crazy, but I know it to be true. Here's the evidence. You can actually see in her hand there the stabilizer. I don't know if she's always had that in her hand. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that's not stabilizer. Maybe I'm just tripping, but I just noticed that now. And what I also know, it is no longer speaking to me. Even after decades here, I have never seen this kind of response. Not since the antidote so many cycles ago. She smiles. So I'm going to make you a deal. You bring me as many club heads as you like. I'll extract the stabilizer and give it to you freely. But you have to tell me what the Greenway says. You have to speak with it, to dig into it, to find what is being at the center of it. I've traveled as far as I can. I need you to do the rest. Can you do that? Well, we got to continue the story somehow, right? Rico sighs with relief and deflates into her chair. Thank you. I'm sorry for the other sleeper, I truly am. I'm sorry I couldn't have done more. I'm so glad I met you, she smiles. You are welcome here anytime. I wonder if that sleeper that we found, like, connected to the stuff with the, I forget the girl's name, the bounty hunter we were working with. I wonder if that was a sleeper that came here that escaped and that guy fell in love with. Rico falls silent. She looks smaller now, more fragile, and you realize how old she must be to have seen the collapse firsthand. You idle a little in the lab in case she asks for anything else, but she remains silent, so you drift back into the tunnel. Thoughts of that other sleeper, and where they ended up weighing on your mind. Alright. Well, that's very interesting. Okay, perfect. I was just going to say, we just finished that one. We need... What are we going to do with the seat? So you did have to finish that to get that. Okay. Now we got 3 points. I forget though. We'll just wait and see which one seems to make the most sense for us, because we can get the upgrade now. We'll see what rolls help us the most. But this now allows us to do this, which we've had for quite a while. The only way to understand what the gardener gave you is to grow it. Rico is incredibly excited by this prospect. So yeah, the gardener was the entity we met in the Matrix here, or in the interface web thing that runs throughout the station, after helping the navigator earlier in the storyline. I'll take good care of it, sleeper. Rico smiles. Don't you worry. Alright, now what do we do? Now we wait. Seed is planted and Rico is an attentive mother to it. What future is forming there? Oof, that is 8 cycles. That is a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot. Okay, so all we have to do... I think we're going to have to start Flotilla Aid. There is not much else we can do. So we're going to go ahead and get it started, because the Bliss's thing we're waiting on... We can do the side reel ticket, but I'm not super interested in doing that right now. We'll go back there and do one, but let's go ahead and kick this off. Esh sees you coming up the broken spoke and waves you into the cavernous bay of the climbing briar. You came. Peak smiles as you walk into the climbing briar's cargo hold behind a gloomy Esh. They brought mushrooms. Esh tosses the mushroom caps into a crate, raising her eyebrows at Peak. Peak gives her a look. Thank you, sleeper. They pick up and sniff at it. Are these edible? Yes. Peak turns the cap over in their fingers before putting it down. We're not so used to fresh produce. Esh secures crates as she speaks and doesn't look up. Hawthorne doesn't have much in the way of farming. Hawthorne? The installation we grew up on. Esh wipes off her hands on a rag. XPR loves to name their property after natural things, but that's about as far as their relationship with plant life goes. XPR? This an interrogation? She glares. Either way, we are done with that place, which is all that you need to know. Ash leans back against the crate she was securing. You're going to need more than a few mushrooms if you want to help those refugees, though. What do they need? Food, water, components, a whole lot of things. Ash stands and walks over to the mushrooms you brought, placing them into a small container with care. The problem isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Can you just fly around? And get the Briar seized for breaching quarantine? No thanks, she laughs. We were lucky to get here before the cordon was set up. That's the only reason we are on this side. I didn't even know there was a quarantine. Peak jumps in. The Eye has a closed-loop life support system, just like any orbital installation. Any unfamiliar illness or significantly increased strain on life support could cause a cascading collapse in its systems. Are we making excuses for these bureaucrats now? Peak turns. We are being realistic, Esh. But these people aren't an increased strain. They are living people. Esh stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people into a single, monolithic group. Esh slides a container full of mushrooms into one of the cargo holds racks. Look, as much as I'd like to chat, we've still got a lot of space to fill in this hold, so if you're going to help... I think Esh is trying to say we need your help and quickly, Peak says, glancing at her. The refugees behind the cordon, they won't be able to hold out indefinitely. We need to get them to supplies to them in the next 12 cycles or so. Esh steps forward, or Haven Age will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens to them. What can I do? There's 3 things we will need to secure. Water, food, and scrap components for ship repairs. Esh gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water we can find a way to source, or, my preference, just siphon off from the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Esh... She ignores them. For food, things could be tricky. Those mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but there's no way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae stack on the way over. If we can get access. No more stealing, Esh, Peak sighs. I didn't steal. Oh, I didn't say steal. She stares at them indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stack, harvest some algae for the flotilla. Those stacks churn out vast quantities in short time scales. I think that's the thing that you can steal when you first get into the Greenway, that like farming area. And the repair components, Peak asks tentatively. Esh smiles. Just look around you, Peak. This whole place is made of scrap. She shoots you a glance. And I'm sure the Sleeper has their sources, and they can bring them right here. Now you're like really dragging me in, girl. We get everything before time runs out. Perfect. We get most of it. Also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have and go. But how will you get through? Esh shoulders a container. I thought I'd leave that up to you, Peak. They flinch. Are you serious? Esh, I know what we said would help the flotilla, but at what point? They stop and take a breath. Take this seriously, Esh. I don't know the first thing about breaching a quarantine cordon. Maybe not. Esh looks at you, but they might. They slipped out from an SNR facility, didn't they? Plus, they've been here longer than us. You were always trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. She gestures to you. Help. Now she's like throwing everything at us, so I don't know what's going on. Quite of a turn of the tables. Pete glances between the two of you. I swear to... They sigh. I need to think this one through. Meet me at the cordon in a couple of cycles, Sleeper. Maybe we can figure out something. Meanwhile, as supplies meets your eye, you can help me acquire supplies. Discreetly. She smiles. We have to keep this quiet. Keep Haven Age out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is over for all of us. This all seems a little too real. Too dangerous. You've only just found your feet on the Eye. This is not a time for causing trouble. Come find us. We'll be out here trying to pull all this together. I don't know. We've done some seriously crazy stuff so far, especially with the unveiling of like Conway or the Hardin and that whole storyline. That was a quite a lot of trouble that we got ourselves into. Ash goes to the back of the hold to start packing another container. Peak, come help me. Pete glances back at her. Sleeper, look. We didn't choose this either. They lower their voice. Help us finish this. We set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke. You are welcome to rest there in any of the cots while we work on this. They smile. We are in this together. Peak, Ash shouts, and they walk back into the hold to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at the broken edge of the Eye's ring, where the Haven Age cordon blinks with tiny red lights. What are you getting yourselves into? Can we actually see that out here? I do see some blinking red lights, but I don't know if that's the cordon per se. Oh, and this is definitely a timed thing. Okay. They need 8 scrap components. Holy crap. We have none right now. That is... We may have a mess on our hands. We may have a mess on our hands. Where are we going to get that much scrap? That is a lot of cryo that we need to get. Well, I don't think we... What is this? Water flow the flotilla. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a ton of stuff that we suddenly have to do. Okay, well... Food, scrap, and water. They weren't kidding, man. This is a lot to do. Peaks plan, Briar's Hold. Alright, well, let's start with the water and the food portion, and then we'll go buy some scrap somewhere. Start with the algae stack. Algae access, we just need to negotiate. Let's re-roll these. Okay. Don't want to lose energy. I also don't want to get engaged, per se. Let's see what else we have here. Reservoir has 3. Mushroom grows. Don't need those necessarily. Reservoir 93. Hack the sensors on interface and siphon water. Water for the flotilla. This gets rid of the Haven Age alert. The other one raises the Haven Age alert. So let's start here. Start at the 6. We did get a random scrap item from that, so that is pretty good. Interesting. Engineer. Interface. Alright, we're gonna have to bump one of these skills. Let's do, I've always liked interface. I've always liked interface. I don't know if that's the best one. I feel like engage might be a good one. 2. I don't know how many more drives we have that are gonna get these points. We've been pretty even with all of our bonuses so far. Interface was better at the beginning. I'm gonna do engage. I feel like now we're towards the end, there's less hacking to be done, but I could very well be wrong. Okay, so we can try and do this with a 5 now. Hopefully we don't lose any energy. Alright, algae access. I don't know if we want to roll a 2 on that. This is going to be intense, man. There's a lot we need to get done in a very short period of time. But at least it gives us something to do, because we were going to be sitting here kind of doing nothing for a while otherwise. What do we want to do with a 2? Or fabricator? We don't want to fabricate a ship mind. We don't want to sell scrap. We do want to buy scrap, though. You can buy scrap from these guys when they come in. Not much to do with a 2. I guess we'll just do this, which is the energy and food one. Right? Unless there's... I don't think there's... I don't want to risk it otherwise. We'll do this and get ourselves... There you go. Energy and money. Alright. Let us rest. That's cool they kind of added these DLCs. I just really don't know how this ends up like cleaning up at the end, you know? I don't know if I'm supposed to be finishing all these tasks or what it is, but... Alright, we definitely need to... Oh, we can't repair ourselves. 4 is going to be tough to work with. These are terrible rolls. We're pretty much full bore right now into this DLC then, because otherwise we're just waiting for this job to show up, and we have to wait for the other job to show up. The gardener's seed thing, which I imagine would be the end of that. Hopefully that gives us some sort of like huge bonus, but yeah, we're just literally waiting on those. So let's I mean, the only thing we can do here, right, is scrap components. We have 12 cycles, which is not a lot. I need scrap, food, and water. Can't go to the farm stacks, right? No, that's just for our own energy. It's just algae stacks. We can do a 5 again. Let's see how that works out. Very nice. Sucks, man. These only giving +1 are crazy. Let's reroll. It's pretty good. Let's do this and get the water. We have to use our high rolls for the most part. Water for the flotilla. Try a 5 there, I guess. Hopefully we roll well. Alright, and we got another scrap item. That's going to be good for us. Let's go take a look. We're going to have to... I think we're going to have to buy all the scrap we can. When these ships come in. Which, I think one of them's here, right? Ship mine fragment. We don't need that. Plus limited supply. Ship mine fragment discount. We don't need that. We need to hike over prices. Yeah, we don't need to buy a ship mine fragment, so that doesn't do much for us. It's going to be this guy that comes in. Unless there's... We can buy scrap here. Play the exchange. Sell scrap now. Or fabricator. Reclaim scrap. No. Having 4 is difficult. Tracking Haven Age. We still have a little bit of data. I don't really think this does much for us, to be honest. Would be interesting to finish this, although we feel like we've done everything we can about the Yachty. Unless this is another drive to finish, if we do go through. I don't think there's like terribly much to... I guess there's a little bit of hack. We could do one of these, which we haven't done in a while, for money. And we get 2 of them. Yeah, let's do that, I guess. Let's see if we can find a Haven Age hack for... there's really no point in hacking Yachty for us anymore. That's a 1. Are the Yachty's 1? Because we've like finished... I don't know. I guess it technically doesn't matter, right? Because these are kind of older things to do, but it does feel strange to be doing that after we pretty much like did all we could for the Yachty side. I don't want to do the side rail bridge. I guess we could do something here maybe. Bar shift. Sure. Engage, that's +2. There's a little bit of money. Alright, we'll take that, because when this guy comes in with the scrap, we're going to need to purchase what we can. Let's end the cycle. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I feel like now we're just going to be kind of running through the days real quick, because there's not... Oh, wait. I spoke too soon. As you leave, you find a note pinned on the outside of the door. It reads, Sleeper, there's something you need to see. Meet me at the cordon as soon as you can. Just keep heading around the ring until you hit the flotilla. I'll be waiting. Peek. You pocket the note and glance around the corridor. Looks like you are doing this. Time to make a plan. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Alright, we are deep into... And these are some great rolls. 2 6s and a 5 is lovely. Let's see what Peek's up to. Said they were over here somewhere, yeah? Ah, interesting. Something finally down here. A spider. Very interesting. Sleeper. Peek catches your attention from the shadowy corner where they were leaning against. Any trouble getting up here? This place is huge. It certainly is. Haven Age have been busy. Come, take a look at this. They beckon you over to a nearby window which looks across the ruined ring to the blinking red lights of the Haven Age cordon. The cordon's temporary structures, a net of metal struts meant to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the flotilla, jut out into the black. And all around, the tugs flit, securing them in place and tending to the red blinking drones that demark the quarantine. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? Peek interrupts your thoughts. How'd you get through? So what did they say it was? Red blinking lights, temporary structures, metal struts. It's these things here trying to prevent you from getting out. Okay, so that is what they were talking about. I don't know, I would say maybe use the tug to create a distraction. We'll say, use one of the tugs. An escort, you mean? I doubt we could fit all the supplies onto one of those tugs, but if it seemed like the Briar was officially being escorted through the cordon... Peak squints at the red lights, but then we'd be stuck inside. Peak turns away from the window and rubs their forehead. Ash has really wrapped us up into something here, hasn't she? The question is spoken under the breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. Say maybe we try all three. That's why he's helping the Flotilla. Peak looks up. You don't think it's a worthy cause? They pause. We ran into them when we escaped Hawthorne. Ash insisted we investigate their distress signal. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have. Peak stares out the window at the distant blinking lights of the arrived ships. It's just... Peak brushes back their hair. Forget it. Let's focus on the plan. They flash you an easy smile. It doesn't matter why. We are the ones who are going to help them. The way I see it, there are three parts to making it out through that cordon. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We'll need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cordon security into thinking that we are meant to be there. Maybe a tug escort could work. Anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, will be all about diverting attention so that no one looks too hard at what the Briar is doing. If we can create a gap in the cordon's scanning and deterrent systems, that should keep them busy. Finally, speed will mean making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we can do a little work on the ship to get it ready. I surely wouldn't mind. They lean back from the window. How does that sound? I say risky. Well, they smile. Yes, there's always going to be risk. That's how this works. Gotta be on board with that. Peak looks down at their slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out of the window at the cordon nervously. 10 cycles to gather supplies and prep this plan. It's tight. Very tight. Peak looks at you. If this goes wrong, Peak sighs. Just get out, okay? They squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Ash anywhere. But you don't need us to get dragged. You don't need to get dragged down with us. I'll say I won't come down to that. Peak brightens up a little. Of course, but just keep it in mind. Let's get to it. Peak stretches. I'll tell Ash about the improvements to the Briar. The rest, let's explore as best we can and look for openings. I have no idea what guardian angel sent you to us, Sleeper. Peak smiles, but I'm very glad they did. Yeah, y'all are lucky I'm a nice boy. A nice machine. Plan person. Alright, Flotilla. I can't do anything here. Got some interesting music kicking up in the background here. Alright, back to the reservoir, I guess. We'll do this. Try and get the water ready. Get one. I'm going to split us so that we try and get these both advanced as best we can. Nice. 2. And let's see if maybe we can get lucky. Stay all up night. Ooh, up all night to get lucky. You and Ash roll up your sleeves and help with the tank cycling. As you do, you speak to the farmers about the refugees. Alright. Wow. You really do need to get that. Food for the Flotilla. Harvest algae. There's no more algae in the stack for now. Holy cow. We still get a 2. That is not good. A danger does not feel good. And losing a condition doesn't feel good either, but I think we have to take it. We don't really have the luxury here. Alright. I will take that. We got very lucky there. Let's go take a quick look. I can't remember if the scrap sellers are in yet. Attend the red dock. Not yet. Next time. Alright. Back to sleep. Yeah, as soon as we hit 3 dice, I just wish I had a better idea of when that was. We got 3 stabilizer, you know? And 5 days without 4 is essentially 1 missed cycle, so this will pile up pretty quickly. Ooh, I didn't realize I was starving either. Alright, we got our Alright. Looks like we got other stuff going on. Sleeper. Moritz is leaning against the corridor wall. It's time. He looks away. Big job just came in. Grand finale. You up for it? I'm ready. Alright then, we are in business. He pushes away from the wall. This has to work, Sleeper. It has to. He looks down. If it doesn't, are we in trouble? The Bane, you mean? He shrugs. We were in trouble before you got here. The work so far hasn't been enough. Look, Bliss has had a rough time of it. I thought that you of all people would understand that. He runs a hand through his hair. Sorry, didn't mean to be. He smiles. Bliss is a good one. She gave me a chance. I owe her. He straightens up. I know you have your own things going on, Sleeper. We all do. But the Bane needs someone. Bliss needs someone. Hell, I need someone to keep... I need someone to help me keep Bliss from spinning out completely. He scratches the side of his head. Otherwise, there's not much I can do. He shakes his head. I would hate to not pay back my debts. Moritz stretches. I gotta get back. He nods and walks away. I'm out. See you up there. Alright, let's see if this one's timed. I think we can go and get money now. Alright, we can buy some scrap and it's discounted, which is nice. Pretty much buy as much as we can here. Random scrap item. Random scrap item. Wait a minute. We got a shipmine fragment? There's a place we can sell these, right? Is it here? Freight operator. Steal a shipment. We can sell them a core. So if we get one more, we can create a core. Alright. Also need to get food this cycle. We got a lot going on all of a sudden. Alright, so this is going. The algae. Let's get the water going. Siphon water. We'll do a 6 there. Alright, we got another scrap. Getting to 8 is going to be tough, man. Let's re-roll. 5 is perfect. Water for the Flotilla. Let's risk it on a 4. Which is technically a 5. Bada bing, bada boom. And another scrap. I'll take it. Tucked into a service corridor deep below the reservoir. That's just double checking the seals on the water tanks loaded onto the motorized trolley. Though you are far enough away from any thoroughfares not to worry about being overheard, you both still speak in hushed tones. How will you get these to the Briar? Esh glances back at you. We'll draw all of these up to a bay further along. Then we'll bring in the Briar for a quick and quiet collection. Speaking of quiet, she gives you a look and then looks pointedly back down at the corridor towards the reservoir before hitting the ignition on the trolley to start moving. You take the other side of the trolley and walk it up the wide service corridor with its flickering lights and Solheim detritus. You doubt it gets used by Haven Age, at least that's the hope. You glance across at Esh, her face a mask of determination as she guides the trolley along. Maybe some conversation will make this journey go a little easier. How did you meet Peak? Esh pauses, a little surprised by your question. She glances back down the tunnel, but in this deserted passage she can hardly keep up the pretense of silence. We grew up together. She answers quickly and turns back to the trolley, but she can tell you are expecting her to add more. She seems to gather herself for an answer, not wanting to ignore you, but instead trying to get her answer straight in her head. Our outpost, Hawthorne, is not an easy place to grow up. The administration keeps a tight hold of everything. She rolls her eyes. Even though they are trapped in the same decaying insulation as everyone else. Peak... She pauses. Peak found it harder than most. She pauses again, judging her words. I stepped in to help them out. Silence descends again, but you can feel the wheels turning in Esh's mind as the creaking wheels of the trolley take you along the corridor. Peak isn't the most practical of people. They used to be... well... they needed someone to teach them to look after themselves, stand up for themselves. That was me. She smiles. After that, I couldn't get rid of them. Esh stops talking, but you see her eyes have lit up, and you imagine she is recalling some moment or other form of her in Peak's past. You both reach a wide bulkhead doorway, and you have to stop the shimmy. You have to stop to shimmy the trolley over the edge. When you are done, Esh turns to you. I'm good from here. Head back. With that, she is gone, moving off into the dark tunnel ahead. You watch her go and then turn around and you walk the distance back to the staircase you entered from, the tunnel humming around you as you do. As you walk, you try to piece together Esh's past, but all you have are glimpses of a person she once was. She seems to prefer it that way. Yeah, it seems a bit secretive. I can understand that on a station like this. Alright, with a 1 and a reroll, we're not going to do much. Let's go check this real quick. Hopefully, if this isn't timed, we may wait on this a little bit, but it seems like all of... Yep, of course it's timed. Rigged and ready, minus, rigged and ready. Do we go for this? I guess so. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. This is a crazy thing we need to get done really fast, too. So I guess if you mess up, this is the time to do it, because if we mess up, we lose it here. Alright, we got 2 and some cryo. This is crazy. We may have messed up. This is a lot that we need to get done on both accounts very, very quickly. Alright. I think we're going to have to use our stabilizer now. And we're going to be blowing through some money here, so let's, what's the best way to eat? What's the best way to eat? Emphasis, what is 12? I guess we'll do that. That'll keep us good for a couple of days. Let's go and buy some more scrap from the scrap freighter. And try and get as much of these things done as we can. Alright, and that is all we are allowed to buy. And we ended up getting a ship mine fragment. Okay, how do we put this thing together? We can sell that. Which will be good for us in terms of money. Where do we do that? Where do we make a ship mine core? There we go. Haven't done that in a while. Alright, another ship mine core build. We can sell that for 240, which we very well may need to do. It kind of sucks we didn't get actually the scrap that we needed. I don't know of another place to buy any. Oh, the life of a person as I. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna use the stabilizer now. We need every single dice we can get, to say the least. Let's end the cycle. I can't believe we're gonna have to dump an entire cycle into that ship, I think. That thing only has 6 cycles to get through, and there are a lot of things here, to say the least. Got a lot going on, y'all. A lot going on. Rigged and ready. Rigged and ready. An exhausting task. Rigged and ready. Is this one? So I guess this is the one we can do once. So we'll do this just to see what happens. Patch the solar rails. Rigged and ready. Okay. I guess this one is better for, I don't know, this one has a chance of giving you 3 though, so I'm not quite sure. Okay, I'll take the 3. Let's re-roll. Perfect. We're just gonna go hard on this as much as we can today. We'll do another 3. Alright. Big chunk of that done today. Let's go and do one thing for our other group. We need I don't know where we're going to get the rest of this scrap. Getting to 8 scrap is going to be crazy. Let's see where we can buy it. Mushroom groves, the algae thing. Alright, so we finished the water one. Okay, that's pretty good. Risky, it's a 4. Food, we're going to have to go for it. Hopefully it doesn't screw up the algae growth. It did screw up the algae growth. Not great. But we got 2 out of it. We're doing what we can with what we have. That is the best way to put it. A little bit of pressure, though. Never hurt anybody. I kind of like the what we're trying to accomplish here. Let's do another rest. And the cycle. very well may have to sell the shipmine core. I'm going to hold on to it just for a little longer. I feel like there may be something that comes up last minute. It's like, get a shipmine core. And if you don't have it, it could be super difficult. But let's see. Not great dice to start with. We're going to head up. We should go and take a check on how many cycles are left on the other one, too. This one is just a lot to do in a little bit of time. This is basically like the side reel thing. Alright, start with our guy here. 2s and 1s we can't do much with. Re-rolling is by far the most valuable skill you can get in this game. Game based on dice rolls. 2s and 1s, those suck again. Alright, we're almost there. Do we do a 2 on this and try and finish it? No, because we don't have the energy to spare. Let's descend. We can do the noodle thing here with this, right? Yeah, it's safe. Hopefully we get 2 energy out of it, and a little bit of cryo wouldn't hurt either. Perfect, that sets us up for the day. And a 1. I don't know what we can do with a 1. I'll be honest. I will be honest. I guess we could try for this. It's risky. I think we have to. We can't go another cycle without it. Please work out, please work out, please work out, please work out, please work out. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is about as good as we can get, and then I just need to find a place to buy scrap. How much time do they have left? Alright, they're almost halfway. Let's cross to the rim. Alright, we'll rest one more time here. We're doing what we can with what we have, helping out everybody to the best of our ability while spreading ourselves super thin. Alright, pretty bad dice rolls, if I'm being honest. The 4 we can do something with, but we are going to have to re-roll those other ones. Alright, yeah, let's do it. Hopefully, just please work out, please work out, please work out. Thank you. Alright, that should be the end of this drive, I would imagine. The atmosphere in the airlock is getting euphoric. You and Bliss keep grinning at each other like idiots. Exhausted, blinded, sore, and aching idiots. Sleeper, that was incredible. She punches you on the arm. I never thought we were going to make it. Those idiots tangled the whole thing up like nothing I've ever seen. We make a good team. Bliss smiles a winning smile. As the lock's inner doors clunk open, Moritz gives a rare whoop. He looks exhausted too, and for good reason. Moritz has been the one ferrying tools and parts back and forth from the ship. His tired smile tells you he's glad it's done. Sleeper, Bliss. He shakes his head. Impressive. When I saw that ship come in, I thought there was no way. Well, I thank you, Moritz, she winks, for believing in us. Moritz rolls his eyes. You know what I mean, take the compliment. He shoulders some of the gear that came in, with you and Bliss and heads back to the racks to stow it. Bliss turns to you. I think you should be the one to do the honors. She nods to the ragged-looking console that Moritz assembled. I don't want to jinx it. She smiles, but you can see she is genuinely nervous. Don't worry. I'll stop worrying when the chits are in my hands. I'm giving them to a gimbal bartender. You glide over to the console and check the screen. It takes a second to see what you are doing through the flickering, crackled display, but after a moment you see the accounts. And there it is. Almost 1,000 cryo sat in the base transfer accounts. Well, Bliss calls. How we've been screwed again. We did it. Bliss kicks off from the floor and spins up into the base, shouting as she does. The noise takes Moritz by surprise, and he knocks a rack of parts, scattering handfuls of metal fixings across the bay. The sight is something, glinting steel catching the work lights like glitter. Sorry, Bliss says, grinning when she comes back down. I needed that. She kicks off and joins you at the terminal. Moritz even managed to sell the produce. We have made a tidy profit. Eventually. She laughs. Here. She loads a stack of blank chits into the terminal and transfers a chunk of the cryo to them. This is your cut. Bliss hands you the chits. Thank you for believing in this place. She looks away and smiles, even when I couldn't. When you first met me, I was on the edge of giving up. All it would have taken was one more push, but now this place is sparking again. Work is coming in, there are funds in the accounts. Even Moritz has a spring in his step. You both look over at him, happily racking up the tools. That's because of you. She punches you in the arm. He likes you. He's a good kid. He isn't bad, is he? She leans in closer. You know he came here looking to rob the place? I gave him a job instead. She laughs. Tell him I told you that. I just thought it might help you understand the kid. Moritz turns to look at you, and both Bliss and you awkwardly wave. Maybe it's time to change the subject. What now? From here on out, it's going to be a little easier. I'm going to start looking for some component contracts, stuff that will keep us inside the bay. Not out in the black. No need to risk our necks if we don't need to. You want to cash out? That's fine. But there will always be work for you here when I need it. Or when you need it. I appreciate it. She smiles and then out of nowhere quickly gives you a hug. She steps back and glances around reflectively. Take care, she says softly. You too. You turn to leave. And Sleeper? Yeah. She smiles. Don't spend it all at once. No, we won't. 396 chits, though, is super nice. As is. Another upgrade point, which we can't use quite yet, but I'm sure will come in handy in the future. Alright, now we got a ton of money. That takes the pressure off a little bit. We still need to find a place to buy scrap, man. Nothing here. Nothing there. Maybe I'll have to figure out something here. You can sell components. I don't want to be using my dice for anything other than the stuff we can. That was how we made our ship mind. So we definitely have a ton of money ahead of us. Or in front of us. We'll get our food fix in from Memphis. We may have to re-roll some of these. So let's see. I wonder if there's an off chance we could buy stuff from her. That would be crazy good. If we could, that would solve definitely a problem. Oh. Input dice. One last job. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Nothing here, right? I'm just buying a spacer meal. I'm curious, too, if there's one of these I need to do to start another drive that I may have missed, but I'll have to figure that out later. We are busy now. All right, let's do this. All right, we're gonna re-roll these. Give me okay, 4 should be good. We may end up having to... Yeah, it looks like the algae growth always goes down. God, this would be crazy. 2550, 2550. It's the same thing for both. If we lose energy, it's okay. It'll be okay. We can go and buy food with that. Yeah, 1 energy is fine. Let's leave and see if we come back, if it'll let us do it. Yeah, okay, cool. We're going to do it regardless. We're just trying to do this the best that we can. Oof, that sucks. -1 algae growth and -1 energy. All right. Well, we tried. We definitely tried there. I think we'll get it on the next cycle now that we can devote all of our time and energy to it. As long as we get some good rolls, we can definitely keep it up. Let's rebuy some food. We're being a little thrifty now that we're floating on a ton of cash. There might be a better way to spend our cryo too, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's end the cycle. Oh, and we're flickering again. Great. It never ends with the struggles here. But y'all, that's been another great episode of Citizen Sleeper. We're going to call it here. A lot done on this one. A lot done. We got through the end of the Rico stuff for now. Found out a place for our seed. Started a little bit of the DLC and got what I thought was almost done with Bliss's storyline there. But it seems like there might be one more big job for us to finish. As always, if you enjoyed today's content, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing the video, all that good stuff helps the algorithm a great deal. Look at me. And I appreciate it as well. This has been SpockPlays, flickering through Arlen's eye. Thanks for watching as always. I'll catch you next time.